Hi students, welcome to A&P. I'm excited to go through winter quarter with you. This is one of my favorite classes and I hope that you find it as exciting as I do. So to get started, let's run through a few things. Starting over here on the right hand side, this is my name. I usually just go by Dr. Lindsay. My phone number here goes to my desk. I'm very rarely sitting at my desk. I'm usually in a classroom, in a lab, or working remotely. So if you do need to contact me, you can certainly call that number, but I might not answer. Probably a good chance I won't. If you leave a message though, I can get those messages no matter where I am. So leave a message if you need to, if it's urgent. Otherwise, the absolute best way to contact me is right here through the email. Course messages. If you have used Blackboard before, you know how this works. If this is your first course, you'll need to come over here, click on course messages. It's pretty intuitive. Just click on create message. The only thing that I found a little bit difficult the first time I used this is that you have to click on to find who you want to email. So from there, find me, and then move that name over to the recipient side. So the rest is just basic email, but if you haven't used that before, it might be a little tricky at first. Let's go back to the home. Alright, you're probably wondering about grades. How do you pass this course? All of that information can be found under the syllabus, so we'll take a look at that together. I know you know how to read, so I will let you read through this on your own and point out just a couple of things. If we scroll down, you'll see there is grading criteria. This breaks it down how many points are for each category in the class, and the grading scale. So you must get above 73% to pass. All grades are rounded up to the nearest whole number, so technically you need 72.5 at the end of the term to round up to 73. Keep that in mind as moving forward because this is a little bit higher than some of your general courses. If you've taken general courses, you know you need 60 to pass, but this one we need 73. There's quite a bit more information in the syllabus. The only other thing I want to point out is at the very end, the academic integrity policy. I take this very seriously. You're in college, this is a college level course, and I expect college level work. So when it comes down to using online resources or using your textbook online, you will not receive credit for copy and pasting information. You need to prove to me that you know the information. So copying and pasting that is not proving that you know it. For example, if I was going to fly your airplane, would you like me to take a course, understand the information, and learn how the airplane works? Or would you like me to find a book about how to fly an airplane and copy that into a Word document? Like, which one of those scenarios would be better? I want you to be able to understand this information, not just copy it over from a source that you found. Doing so is plagiarism, and you will be reported for that. I just want to be really upfront about that. Expectations are clear. Do not copy and paste. Okay, if you do have questions, I'm happy to talk through that, but I think you get it. And if not, that's what I'm here for. We'll talk about it. Your textbook is an online textbook. It's a little bit different than other courses. If you've had different courses with Rasmussen, you might have used what's called Vital Source. We don't use that in this course. This is a PDF textbook. So it is a huge textbook. It is 1,000 pages, like 1,300 pages, something like that. So it takes a while to load. But once it does, the cool thing is you can save it to your desktop, you can save it to your laptop. I think you can even save it to your Kindle if you know how to do that kind of stuff. But you don't need internet access to use it once you've downloaded it. So once this bar goes across the top, you can save this file right up here, save the PDF or bookmark it, however you want to do this. Don't print it unless you have several reams of paper you want to go through. But you can download this, save it, and since it's an e-textbook, you can search it. So you can use the control find function to look up different words. You can use the table of contents, there it is, to find which chapter you're looking for. It's pretty intuitive and it's a pretty neat little resource. So check that out. Make sure you download it the first time you use it, so in case you ever lose internet access, you have it. Alright, back to the course. Let's take a look at some of your some of your assignments. In Module 1, this week, you will see that there's a discussion that is due. That discussion is always due on Tuesdays, with this week being the exception. Since we started class on a Tuesday, you get an extra day to finish your discussion. So you need to have a discussion post up and posted by the end of Wednesday evening. And then your reply post is always due on Saturday. Make sure that you are including substantial information. If you write 1 or 2 sentences, or if it doesn't answer all the questions, you won't get full credit for the discussion. In your reply post, if you say, I like your point, or I agree, that's not enough, right? I need you to engage in this discussion as if you were talking to that person. So it would sound kind of silly to be in a classroom setting and turn to the person next to you and say, I agree, period, right? You wouldn't do that. You would say something else that would engage that person in a true discussion. So think of it that way. The other thing about discussions is that I always require a reference. This week, you're actually talking about references. You're talking about WebMD and Mayo Clinic, so your references are right there. You just need to list them in APA format. In future discussions, you might be asked to provide an opinion, and when that is the case, you always have to back up your opinion with a fact, with some kind of valid resource. This is a science class, and science depends on facts. We can't just say, well, this was my experience, so this is how it is. Or, I work in healthcare, and I had this experience, so that's it. Okay, that's great. Please do share those personal experiences and opinions, but back them up with actual research. That's so key in this class. If you have questions about that, let me know. The other thing you have to do this week is a quiz. You'll see a quiz every single week, except for Module 5 and 11. Those are your midterms and final exams. 15 questions. It is timed. It goes fairly quickly, so make sure you're prepared once you start. There are no retakes. Let me know if you have any technical issues. You should always call the personal support center if you have a technical error. Make sure you call them first, because there's really nothing I can do on my end. But always keep me in the loop if that does happen. But no retakes other than technical issues. Alright, so that's it for Module 1. I'm going to give you a preview of Module 2, and you can take a look at this too if you'd like to. You'll notice that in every even-numbered week, you have a written assignment due, which is a case study. This case study is about, sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's about skin cancer. You'll open this document. This document takes you through a scenario with a couple women who are out in the sun. They talk about skin cancer and how it affects their bodies. So read through that information, take a look at these images. You will need to see all that information to answer the questions. Go back over here. When you've read that document, you're going to open the case study questions. It opens a Word document with several questions that you need to answer. I'll let this load and then we'll take a look at it together. There are multiple questions. You have to answer all of them, and again, you have to use a reference. Where'd it go? Doesn't want to open for me. Of course not, right? That's just the way it goes. Here it is. Just took a little while. So answer these questions. You'll notice that there's 2 points for each question, 3 points for a couple others. It always lists that right after the question so you know what each one's worth. Case study 1 is actually fairly short compared to the others. So as we get to week 2, week 4, week 6, 8, and 10, you'll notice that they get a little bit longer, a little bit more difficult. So this is kind of to get you warmed up. I want you to see an example of what I'm looking for here. This is not the case study you're working on right now, but it does give you an example of how much detail I'm looking for. Every question should be about a paragraph long, unless it's a very straightforward question. If it's just, define blank, then a straightforward sentence is great. But most of these questions, you'll notice they might have 2 separate questions, or 2 things that you're addressing within that question, maybe more. So this is just to give you an example of what that should look like. And then also, if you are okay with this, making your answer a different color than the text is really helpful for me. It helps me get your grades back a lot faster. So if you don't mind doing that, that's great. You're certainly not required to do that. And then at the end, I'll scroll all the way down to the bottom. I do want you to list references in APA format. Here's an example of what that would look like. If you are not familiar with APA format, I do have a video that walks you through the details. Go to our course home. So looking for APA help, look through that video if you do need some help. But I imagine some of you have already been through Rasmussen courses or other college courses, and you're familiar with that, so I'll save that for the different video. Alright, I think that really sums up most of what I wanted to say. There are no live lectures for this class. I will check in with you with these kind of videos every now and then, just to see how things are going or to offer tips, but there are no live lectures that are required, and that you do know that there is a lab that's associated with this lecture. You have to pass the lecture at 73% and you have to pass the lab at 73%. Those grades do not combine, they're not averaged, they are completely separate, but you do have to pass both of them in the same quarter. So if you have lab questions, talk to your lab instructor. If you have lecture questions, talk to me. And if you have any just problems in general with the course, I'm happy to address those too. So if you have any other thoughts or questions, please reach out. Email is the best way, phone is the second best way, and I am going to look forward to working with each of you throughout this quarter. All right, have a great one.